All right, we doing this again where I put it on the wrong damn thing? I mean, what do I do? I do not. Okay. How does my phone not know the difference between horizontal and vertical? Right. Well, Cappy, I did it wrong again, buddy. So we're going to have to do it this way. One of these days, I am going to figure out how to live stream, and it's going to be amazing. Give me 2 minutes to set things up here as we look at Cappy and have a little fun here just before the Super Bowl. Just trying to, see what some cards I got in here, but also just, kill some time because there's not much else to do today, is there? Here on Super Bowl Sunday. Let me know who you got down in the comments, of course. I am on the Seahawks, which means I'm probably going to be wrong. Bet accordingly. Right, buddy? I've been okay in this playoffs. I've done all right. I hit a few middles. But beyond that, we'll see what else we find. So all these card boxes that Cappy is sitting on here, I got 4 boxes of cards off of Facebook Marketplace for $40. And they got some interesting stuff in them. I've already gone through one that had just junk wax baseball in it and sorted that out and stuff. The 3 that are here, right, which if I had it in the right orientation, we'd see all 3. 1, 2, 3. There's a smaller box that Cappy's rubbing up against here, and then there's the 2 5,000 count boxes as well. And they've got some interesting stuff. They've got some, junk wax stuff too, but they've got some vintage baseball, some modern baseball, some older football. I wouldn't call it vintage, but like 80s football, which weren't in the best shape, but I still like seeing them, and I'm still gonna, put them in stuff in my Etsy shop and things like that, which I should go through and say everything's 10% off, flash sale today in my Etsy shop, if you happen to be watching this on Super Bowl Sunday. So let me pull up my stuff here so I can read the comments, hopefully, as they come in, hopefully. Let's do this. And here we go. And I'm going to pin something to the top here real quick. Send off everything. There we go. All right. All right, Cappy, let's go through and see what we got in here. Okay, so they were conveniently kind of labeled for us by the guy that I got these from. With the NFL, NBA. There's some basketball, too, in here, which, of course, I'll set aside and have no idea what to do with. But rookies inserts. This is the older football on this side over here, and this is, I forget, on this side, Cappy's sitting on the label. But let's see what's in here to start. And this looks like a lot of modern stuff. That's what the other thing is, modern things in here. Though there is, like I said, just every once in a while as I went through that other box, I'd find this kind of random vintage like this, right? There always been vintage commons, but, from the late 50s, early 60s vintage, I mean, that's pretty cool by me, just to go through and randomly find stuff like this. Elvin Tappy, looks like there's a little dirt or something on that card there, but either way, we'll look at that. Random Jersey Fusion card. I've never actually bought a Jersey Fusion box where they cut out some random piece of cloth, I guess, and attach it to an old baseball card and stick their logo on it. But Jersey Fusion All Sport 2021 edition of A-Rod. Is that his? It's not a rookie, right? Probably not. No, it's several years into his career. You can kind of see in the background. But there's A-Rod there and a Jersey Fusion. I don't know what I'll do with that. Not something I would go through and sell. So we got the 89 Traded Series hidden in here, along with a lot of random modernists. What's this? Another old school card. That was the other thing about a lot of these old cards that I keep finding in this collection. Somebody wrote R on a lot of them. I guess their name. I guess you did that in the 1950s, 60s. That's a 61 Johnny Antonelli with an R on it. Cappy, did you write that? What are the odds that all the cards are there from the traded set? Probably slim. Let's look at some, let's just grab a handful here and start looking at stuff. So, Playbook. Those of you that are tuning in, new to the channel, anything else like that, if you know anything about basketball, I mean, I'm going to know the names you hear on Mad Dog Sports Radio or something like that. But beyond that, I am not a basketball fan. So, I watch college basketball, but I'm not a pro basketball fan. So, if any of these are anybody I should be looking for that I wouldn't know, please tell me. I've heard of Jokic, right? Joe Vick. I'm sorry, that's Joe Vick, not Joe Kitch. I got excited there for half a second. Ivy, a lot of names that I don't know. Like, I was even asking my students this week, like, what's going on that basketball suddenly turned into like fantasy basketball, all the trades and stuff? Because there were a lot of trades this week, weren't there? I have not heard of one of these players yet. No idea who any of them are. How about let's grab some I do know? How about some football? A lot of score inserts here. The purple inserts. So Clint Portis, Keenan Allen, Quinnen Williams, Cowboy now. Bobby Wagner, Heineke. What was that game last night? Did anybody watch whatever the football thing was last night? That's Zeke's for me. I'm keeping that. But it's another game where it looked like they played in a highway underpass. Right, buddy? I don't know where the heck that was they're playing. Kyle Trask, whatever happened to him? Rondale Moore, Trey Lance, Newman, Basham. Here is Tanyan, Myers, Brown, Scary Terry, Jordan Love, Javante. Pardon me. Still trying to get over whatever I'm going around the house here. We got some Reds this time. Herbert, Crosby. Here's Williams again. The random purple of Harris. Jones, Judon, Rodriguez, Phillips, Ingram, Zach Martin for me. Rondale Moore, Chase Young, Wirfs, Mechie, Jones, Fournette, Singletary, Jones, Crosby. That's some blue this time. Trubisky, Koo, and Allen. So that's pretty neat. Lots of inserts, random inserts. Bailey Zappi. Remember when he was the thing for like a second there? I mean, if they would have stuck with him, who knows, right? Maybe they wouldn't be here today. But obviously, they are here today. So, those you turned in, who you got? Who you on? Right? You on the Patriots? Are you on the Seahawks? Like I said, I am on the Seahawks. London, Ritter, Brian Robinson, a couple of Brian Robinsons, Surratt. I'm not even going to try. Jake Ferguson, rookie. So lots of rookies. I mean, there might be random rookies, but good stuff to mix into my packs. Overshawn, Deuce Vaughn, Shorter, Charbonnet. He's hurt, right? He's not playing today. McKee, Mozzie Smith. And we got some, they're still rookies. Woolen, Drake London again. Quantico Kolar, Spiller, Winfrey. I see why you picked this box on top, buddy, because it was smaller. But, I also see why you liked it. Let's grab this. What do we got over here? We got some mini cards from, I guess, Allen and Ginter here. Got a state card. Hello, Utah. Dominguez. We got a brown border of Mike Trout. So, matches Cappy. I'm sorry, buddy. Anderson. Colton Cowser. We got a black Zach Geloff. Churros. Anybody making churros today? This is Indonesia. Flags of the world. Pujols and ice cream. Plenty of that will get eaten today. So, what do we got here? A yellow jacket. A couple of dogs. Right, from the Westminster show thing. Mac Jones. Long way from Mac Jones for the Pats today. There's Garrett Wilson. Another Garrett Wilson, the clear card. You can see Cappy through it there. Jordan Addison. Hello, Frederick, Maryland. Laporta. Fields. Wright. Nice Laporta by storm. Trevor Lawrence. Josh Jacobs. Justin Fields. Herbert in the clear card. Murray. Another Herbert. Mingo. Evans. Stargazing is Justin Jefferson. Hurts. And some chrome. Old chrome. Benjamin. Is this Davis numbered? No, it's just a green parallel. Thought it might be a numbered parallel. But just a green. Mozzie Smith in the die cut. Jalen Jones in a die cut there from Select. Zay Flowers, and then another basketball player that I've never heard of. Let's look at this 89 traded set that was randomly in here. What are the odds that the Griffey's going to be in here? I'm going to bet none, considering this is masking tape together. But let's find out. Will the Griffey be in here? There's a card still stuck in there. So, I know, buddy. What's wrong? You ready for the game too? So, that's not a good sign. As I sorted those, somebody sorted these already. They sure as hell didn't come out in team order. Sachs, Barfield. So there's a bunch of Yankees. So we got to find the Mariners, right? Orozco, Bert Blyleven's a Hall of Famer. Jim Abbott's rookie. Well, they're not all in order, maybe. Some of them have pretty rough corners, though. So these were definitely messed around with. They didn't sit around in the box. James, Terry Francona. Yeah, these are not Omar Vizquel. That's his rookie, isn't it? Yeah. Omar Vizquel rookie card. Not the one we were looking for yet. Okay, here's some Mariners. Leonard, Jim LaFie. Oh, that's not a good sign. This isn't a good sign either. Look at this corner. That is blown up. Sorry there, Keith Atherton. You're going in the circular filing cabinet. McCarthy, Greg. Some propaganda. Ron Kittle. White Sox, Jeff Torborg. Okay, there's still some randomness, so maybe we'll get lucky, but I'm thinking this isn't a good sign. It was open. It was masking tape together. It was played with. The Griffey has to be out of here. Eddie Murray. Hey there, Ryan. How you doing? Tom Herr. Roger McDowell. Kruk from the Phillies. Parrott. Lake. Terry Kennedy. Eisenreich. Tom Gordon. That's his rookie, isn't it? Yeah. Terry Leach. Ken Griffey Sr. Wrong Griffey. Kent Tekulve. I do not remember him as a red at all. Slinging its sidearm. Wally Backman. Lance Parrish. Lots of Braves there that played in their 90s run, but doing well. That's caught alive. Thank you. Thank you for joining in. Rafi Palmeiro. Yeah, just kind of randomly decided, I got time to kill, because we all do today. It's that day, right, where not much is happening unless you're prepping for a party or something, and those days are well behind me. So, yeah, we'll have a little fun around the house. I'll make some sausage balls, I always do, and stuff like that a little later this afternoon. And then Cappy and I will sit over here on the sofa and watch the game, and we're running out of cards here to find a Griffey. Okay, there's some Mariner. Just the one. Yeah, Donnie Ossie, Juan Samuel. No Griffey. No Griffey in there. Well, not surprising. I didn't buy the boxes for the Griffey, right? So, I mean, these will all, as long as they're in good shape, get mixed into my packs. But, yeah, not surprising there was no Griffey in that when you saw it tampered with and stuff. What's this? Oh, look, they're the Stadium Club master photos. Yeah, no parties here at all. So, yeah, I'm 46. I feel you. We used to do it. Before we had a kid, we always invited people over and stuff, but COVID hit right after we had our daughter, and that was that. There's Ohtani in the master photo. The rock pile behind him. Vladdy. Another Vladdy. And Bryce Harper. So at least they're stars, right? I mean, I guess they would be in the master photos. But I'll throw those in as bonus items in packs when I ship out big things. Let's see what we can pull out of here. I haven't pulled many out of this. This feels like Heritage right here. So let's look at some Heritage real quick. Then maybe we'll jump into another box or two. There's some 23 tops. Right, now that we haven't seen that ad nauseum. Some more Heritage. Cal Raleigh's Future Stars card. Not his rookie. That was the previous year. Mervis. Some update, I guess is what that is. Steel. Again, pardon me for getting a little hoarse along the way. What's up there, PC? Glad you could jump in. DL Hall. It's not a It's not a Cappy's card break if we don't find some Orioles rookie pitchers. What are these sleeved cards? Hey, Giannis. At least I've heard of him. Giannis Antetokounmpo. What I don't know. There's the Luka Doncic. Right? Juan Soto randomly sleeved for some reason in the star of the MLB. Some 25, Series 1 probably, right? Yeah. 4 days from now, we get 26, right? The 13th, something like that. So something to look forward to this week, because we got some Ginter here, I guess, to go with the mini Ginters that we saw before. Evan Carter's rookie. Luciano, stars the MLB, yuck, yeah. No shortage of them out there. Wyatt Langford's rookie. Colt Keith. Xander Schauffele. Random golfer dude. I guess that's the other thing to do today is watch the golf tournament, because I am not watching the pregame for football. I never do. And then you add in a lot of the stupidity that's this year, and it's just, yeah, I'll be happy watching golf. Erica Thompson, the beekeeper. Okay. Dick Allen. Here we've got sister cities, Charleston and Panama City. Cap, you ever been to Charleston? No. You're not Jeff Peterson. Mud Dauber there, whatever that is. Mike Piazza. I've checked that in my old PC list there. Cal Raleigh again. Shanghai and Chicago, sister cities. Insert joke here. Dawson, New Orleans, and Durban. Cabrian Hayes, Manny Machado, and William Contreras on those. So let's see. These are all seem to be modern-ish looking stuff, except for that one vintage card, that one, the 89 set that was in here. So it's 23 tops, 25 tops mixed there. Let's see what's in the other boxes. We can always come back to this in a little bit, because at least there were some rookies and stuff in here. And let's see, which one's this? This is the 80s and 90s NFL box. So, if I recall correctly, this is not NFL. Funny looking NFL cards. But this is the other thing, as I went through the other box of these, you can see how some of these have been in really rough shape as I went through. But, where is... I thought I saw when I looked at it some older football. Is that this row? Yeah. Let's look at some of these old football cards on Super Bowl Sunday. First time watching, do I sell any of my cards? Yes, I sell them a few different ways. You go over there, Cappy's Cards on Etsy. It's the pin description. And I also have an eBay shop. Everything's under Cappy's Cards. Hell, I'm even a Whatnot with my packs. I put the random cards into packs of 30, and then some singles I sell on eBay as well. So Cappy's Cards. And one of the cards I pulled is like what PC Lurker said. I've got a Julio, I believe, first Bowman, right, to 25 up on eBay right now. That's a heck of a pull, though, for you, PC. That's a nice one. Cappy likes these, too. Cappy likes everything, doesn't he, buddy? Yeah, he's a good boy. Yeah. When he's sitting here, they're going to find something. Now, these are pretty rough, but they seem to be organized, too. Steve Bartkowski, he had a nice career. Junior Miller, looks like somebody put him in his tire spokes. Mike Ken, Thielman, Mike Ken again. Bailey, so a bunch of Falcons to start. Junior Miller got a brunt of pain. Stacy Bailey, William Andrews. 85 tops are so hard to keep, in good condition, but these are really not in the best condition at all. That is Bartkowski again. Gerald Riggs had a nice little career. Man, some of these really took a brunt. I don't know why they were kept. I will probably put the ones that are not that bad. Oh, the old Fleer cards, the Fleer action cards. Just in the mix box that I have in my shop. I used to have these as a kid. I had these kinds of sets. There's sort of, explain stats and stuff on the back. But they were, an early Fleer card. Anything besides Falcons? How about a 90 Chris Miller? Oh, here we go, some Eagles. Herm Edwards. He's still out there. Harold Carmichael. Big, tall receiver. Spagnola. Mike Horan. Always have to have kicker and punter cards, don't you? Herm Edwards again. That is Greg Brown. Mike Quick. Is he still doing the play-by or the color commentating for the Eagles? Any Eagles fans out there? What the hell happened to Dennis Harrison? It's like a knife cut, but it's not all the way through. Um, okay. Michael, sorry, Haddix. It's just still there. I can't get it out of my throat. It's been all week. There's Jaws. Ron Jaworski, golf club owner now. Harold Carmichael, more Bartkowskis. Jarvis Williams randomly in there. Some Dolphins now. Super Bowl 7 there. Hampton. Mark Clayton. What kind of card is that? 85 NFL star set. Not familiar with that one. The red border. Boy, I wish these were in better shape. There's the first set I ever collected. I started with a good one when I was a kid. 86 tops when I was 6. All right, still got it. Still have the full set in the binders that I put them in 40 years ago. Clayton. There's another one of those NFL star cards. Man, I wish they were in better shape. It's the follow Reggie Roby. Fulton Walker. Most yards, kickoff return in a Super Bowl game. Super Bowl 17, I guess. Duper. Vaughn Schumann. Is he a kicker? Yeah. Newman. Leaders. Lots of Dolphins. There's Marino again. It's got to be early in his career. 84 tops. Clayton. There's the AFC Championship game, beating the Jets 14-0 in 1982. Clayton again. Mark Duper. So the Marks brothers there. There's a kicker guy again. Then we're back to the Eagles. There's the 86 1,000-yard club card. Ernest Jackson. 1,028 yards. Barely got there. Play action fakes on the Giants. Harry Carson there in the background. Let's see what else we got here. More of these. Well, on one hand, at least they're kind of sorted by teams. We go into the Chargers now. On the other hand, they're just not anything that I'm going to wind up putting in my packs. Like I said, I'll put them in an overstock box. Kellen Winslow. And I don't try to deal with cards that aren't in near mint condition or better. They got to be like that. Even when they're vintage like this. A couple of Kellen, well, I mean, is this vintage? 84? It's 40 years old. Right? Yeah. Winslow, I mean, for football, maybe more than baseball. Dan Fouts, instant replay. Or Dan Fouts, 85 tops. James Brooks. More of these Fleer action cards. Another Dan Fouts. Then you have a Chargers card and they're not throwing the ball. Gary Anderson, there you go. Got to have Dan Fouts throwing the ball. Or who is that there? Is it Chuck Muncie running the ball? And these are all this direction. The Cardinals, Neil Lomax. Oops, goes flying. What else we got here? Ooh, I pulled into the Cowboys on the back there. Here's Neil Lomax. All right, still the St. Louis Cardinals there this time. Roy Green. Dan Deerdorf got beat the hell up. Donahue was a kicker, right? Yeah. Birdsong. Lomax again. Stump Mitchell. Otis Anderson. A couple great running backs there for the Cardinals. Stump Mitchell there's 1,000-yard club card. Random 90 pro set card in this mix. Some 85 Broncos now. It's Tom Jackson. You might remember him from ESPN. If you're old like me. Rick Carlos. Upchurch. More Upchurch. Sammy Winder. I mean, I get it. They're 40-some-odd years old. And, hell, the cards that were newer that I was going through in the 90s, like I said, when I went through the Junk Wax baseball set, there was some that were like this too. But it's a shame. These cards could have been really, really nice. I definitely wouldn't have paid $40 for these boxes. Elway there. All right, here we go. Some Cowboy stuff. I might actually keep some of these Cowboys, even if they're in the bad shape. Like some of these team cards here. Which one's the best-looking one? Probably this one. That one's really bad. These old super. I might have these somewhere too. back at, my mom's place. Set some of them aside at least. All right, here we go. Raphael Stepien, the old kicker. Danny White. I actually think I have that card too. I still list him as a punter too. Kicker or quarterback punter. I'm going to set that aside too. Too Tall, 83. Or the 82 tops, right? Yeah. Timmy Newsome. Gary Hogaboom, who was on, Survivor, right? Septien, Everson Walls, Hogaboom again. Tony Dorsett. Gonna set that aside too. Butch Johnston, caught that. You ever watch the old replays of the Super Bowl 12, right? It's a catch that today would never be called a catch, but he had a touchdown catch in that Super Bowl. Keep a team card as well. Tony Dorsett busting through there. And the leaders card I'll probably hang on to as well with Dorsett. Pearson I'm definitely keeping. That was to be the end of his career right around when he had that car accident that ended it. Ron Springs, another Dorsett. Bob Bruning, Too Tall again. Whose idea was it from Topps in this era to make portrait card, landscape card instead of portrait? More of these team cards are Super Bowl 12. And Super Bowl 6. Bob Lilly running down Bob Greasy. Was that a 20-some-odd yard loss or something like that, if I recall correctly? Bill Bates, it's probably his rookie card. Beat to hell. Nope, second year, if he had one the previous year. Dorsett and Freeman McNeil, rushing leaders. So I am setting a lot of these aside, like I said, for me. Another Dorsett. Have not done the Cowboys PC yet. I have done the Mets. So got that Mets list. I posted on the last video I posted yesterday. We have to see which one of these Pearson cards look the best. Probably this. Well, that one's corner's all beat to hell too. That Bill Bates isn't better. No, it's not. All right, so now we're into the Browns. Ozzie Newsome. The Baltimore Colts. Be right before they moved here. Super Bowl 5, of course, there. Cutting back to daylight. Playing against the Redskins. An old, whatever you call himself, DMV battle there. D.C., Maryland, Virginia. Donnell Thompson, Ron Stark. It's a random Colts team card. They were bad with all that hangover over their head in the early 80s. Are they going to move? Aren't they going to move? And their owner being a complete and utter drunk. Not helping. Mike Singletary. Let's flip over some Bears cards. Nice Singletary. Third or fourth year Singletary. Steve Fuller, of course, played a lot of games because, McMahon could never get through them all. I like how they put the All-Pro randomly up here in yellow for Dan Hampton. Doing his best Eric Estrada impression there. Singletary again. Vesti Jackson. Leslie Frazier. Here's Peyton. So, again, not in the best shape. I mean, very beat up, but a couple of nice Walter Paytons. Or they would have been. Richard Dent. Just a handful more looking vintage there. And then, I don't know. We'll see what else is in there. Get these going the right way. Let's see here. Moorhead. Another Peyton record breaker card. Again, at least when I'm coming through as Ditka, I'm coming through and I'm buying things like this. I don't get a lot of this older football like this. So it's a treat to see it, even though it's in, horrible shape. Look at Jim McMahon. That perm is awesome. Another Walter Payton. That one's not as bad as the other ones. The corners are rounded on the bottom. Still a nice Walter Payton. Bob Thomas. Yeah, we go to the Bucks now with James Wilder. And not a lot of, other than James Wilder, no names I've recognized yet. Leroy Selman, of course, is a Hall of Famer, but that card, again, looks like somebody ate it. Jack Thompson, the throwing Samoan. James Wilder. Just randomly 90 Pro Set in this. This looks like the last little pile of vintage, unless some of this over here is. We'll have to look. There's Dan Hampton again. Gary Fennick. Jimbo Covert, is that who that was? Ozzie Newsome. Clay Matthews. It's got to be early in his career, right? Yeah, not too early. Again, another card looks like somebody ate it. Ozzie Newsome. Lots of Ozzie Newsomes. Man, look at this. I mean, that was definitely in somebody's tire spokes at some point. Paul McDonald. Newsome again. And Ernest Biner, of course, you know. The Fumble. Kevin Mack. Biner got his ring, though, over the Redskins, right? In Super Bowl 26, I guess. Yeah, these look like they're 85 tops still. Stuff. Let's see what this is. The Bengals now. That might be, well, it's bent up here. I was about to say that might be the best shaped card we found, but it's not. Bengals from this era. Who are we looking for? Like, yeah, Munoz would probably be the best player, right? Chris Collinsworth. Is he on the call tonight? It is an NBC game, right? Kenny Anderson. Yeah, I mean, I guess this was they were in 2 Super Bowls in this era. Collinsworth again on the leaders card. Jim Breach. Collinsworth, 1,000-yard club card from 86. 1,100 yards, not bad. Big game against the Cowboys. And some more of these other things. Cap, you getting tired? He is fast asleep. Meow, meow, meow. Let's aim it that way. We can see Cappy a little more. As we look through these, how about some Bills this time? Joe Ferguson, right, the quarterback before Jim Kelly. Darryl Talley. I doubt we're going to find a Bruce Smith rookie or anything in this. And a whole lot of random Bills that I do not remember, other than Joe Ferguson. And some other team cards, and there's a random 1990 Jim Kelly. And these are modern. This is Donruss from last year mixed in there. Straight from the packs. Still got the Kid Reporter card in it. So we've seen that enough. I've opened those plenty enough. Let's find stuff we haven't seen as I drop stuff on the floor. Some more Pro Set here. 91 Pro Set. Thank you for keeping them in order and in great shape. So all the Chiefs there, 91 Pro Set. Let me pick these up real quick. Did I wake you up, buddy? The chair crack and wake you up? Sorry about that. Cappy, who do you think is going to win tonight, huh? Patriots or the Seahawks? Get these over here. Let's see. This is definitely, here's some older football right here. Let's look at this. How about some mid-90s football? 95 tops. Another one I don't get a lot of because it's kind of sticky usually. But they're draft pick cards. Who was in the 95 draft? 1,000-yard club cards. Hampton, that's Anthony Miller. Sterling Sharp, Hall of Famer. Chris Carter, Hall of Famer. Irving Fryer, from one of Andre Reed, Hall of Famer. Henry Ellard, Emmett. So one of those for me. I don't know if I have that. Barry Sanders. He has to be number 1 on this, right? Number 1 on the set, because they were always in the order of, you know, the number of yards. Yeah, I don't get a lot of 95 tops. They're usually kind of sticky, but these aren't. Stokes, Kyle Brady. What's that draft? Larry Allen, definitely one for me. Everett. Maurice Hurst. William Floyd. Todd Collins, Rashawn Salam, J.J. Stokes. There's Warren Sapp's draft card, rookie card. That's not too bad. It's in good shape, too. There's Warren Sapp, rookie. And this is Sean Gilbert. Alexander, Brian Cox on the hit list. Turner, Vincent Brown, Phil Hansen. Tim, I see you retracted a message. Let's see here. Thomas, oh, we got every which direction now. Okay. Has to be upper deck if it's going every which way, right? Fuad Raviz. Sherman Williams. How about Tim Brown? There's a Hall of Famer again. Tim Brown. Cortez Kennedy is too, isn't he? Sam Adams. Ronnie Lott definitely is. Don Beebe. McCullen. Here's this. There's a lot of this right here, I believe. The Stars and Stripes set. Hester. What is this? I guess some insert version of this Stars and Stripes with a whole explanation on the background. Or the backside. Burden, Coriat, Stark, Steve Ettman, rookie card. Then we're back in this 95 tops. Here we go. Tim Brown. Oh, no, we're going back to upper deck. Boomer. Metcalf. I probably have that Moose card. I'm going to set it down, though. And then every which way. Who keeps their cards every which way? Come on. Jack Del Rio, Sayal. Cappy, did you do this? Neil O'Donnell, Larry Brown, Super Bowl MVP, Larry Brown. Because Neil O'Donnell threw him 2 passes right to him. Henry Ellard. Greg Davis again. And we've seen a few of those already. So where did I put these? Right here? Let's try another row. Let's see what this looks like. 91 Pro set. That's that Stars and Stripes set, which if you're not familiar with it, here you go. It's about 95 or so, 92. Stars and Stripes. They have these Stars of the Game card, old players mixed into that set. Ooh, checklist. Childress, Slaughter, Vinny, Fridge, Metcalf. Let's see here. This is, like I said, this is, oh, there's some more old football here. Look. This is all old football, too. I was thrown by the baseball. It's right here. You can see the Bowman cards randomly sticking up a little high here that I'm touching, right, and moving everything. This is all the older football, too. I'd say we looked at the other box, but somebody's sleeping on it. That would be you. William B. Billy Sims. Al Baker. Wasn't he on Shark Tank at one point? Eric Hipple. I'm not going to flip these around every which way. I'm getting tired doing it. Billy Sims again. Is that Gary Danielson? Just retired from calling college football. And then we got the Skins here. Ricky Sanders. Art Monk. Had a great career. Hall of Famer. And these are beat up too. There's Riggo. Another Super Bowl MVP. Is that Super Bowl 17? It's MVP with that run off 4th and 1, right? That broke the game. Mark Mosley was an NFL MVP, right, as a kicker in the strike year. Joe Theismann. He's still around. Pops his head out every once in a while. Donnie Shell. I have a John Stallworth. Right? Won a few Super Bowls there. Abercrombie. What did I do with this? Here, let's put this in the vintage pile. Let's see what else we find in the vintage. That's, again, yell at me for calling it vintage all you want, but whatever. Cliff Branch. That is Todd Christensen. I think he passed away a little while ago. Rod Martin. Howie Long is all beat up in the corner, of course. But I don't know how, that would be 4th or 5th year Howie Long, wouldn't it? Lester Hayes. Todd Christensen again. Ray Guy. They didn't put Ray Guy in the Hall of Fame yet, did they? I mean, if there's ever a punter that should be in, it'd be him. Christensen, Lyle Alzado, right? The Stork, Ted Hendricks. And some leaders, Mike Haynes. More of these Fleer action cards. Jim Plunkett throwing a pass. Everybody staring at each other. All right, here's one of today's participants. The Seahawks from 40 years ago. That is Jim Zorn throwing the pass, calling some audibles. Steve Largent, right? Arguably still their best receiver. I'm sure you could bring in some of the modern guys into that, but arguably at least you can make a pretty good argument for that. He's a Hall of Famer. Kurt Warner, Kenny Easley, Dave Craig, Largent again, more Largents, Kurt Warner, Norm Johnson, there's Zorn, coach of the Redskins for a little while, right? But Jim Zorn. Let's see, where can I put this? Running out of space here. Yeah, this is some old school stuff. I'm missing some of the chat here on my phone as I'm going along here. McMahon looks like a Donnie Osmond in that. Yeah, he did. Sick autos. No, I haven't found the autos yet. The only thing I found, at least so far as you're pulling through this, is just some random vintage and this stupid Jersey Fusion card. But, you know, some random, really vintage stuff. I bet there's more vintage in there, but somebody won't move. But other than that, right? Yeah, Cappy is the best buddy. He's the star around here. He knows how to ham for the camera. He's the reason we're here. This is what we do, right? I mean, after everybody else, nobody's here right now. That's the other thing, right? Why Cappy and I are doing this. But who ate? Cappy, did you eat this? Norm Johnson got bit. But no, I mean, Cappy and I usually late at night, this is what we do. We sort cards, we sell cards, right? It's a great way to get away from all the other crap in life. Carl Roaches. Florin Kempf. Got to be a kicker. Yeah. Eluding a traffic jam. Doesn't look like he's doing very well. France, man, some of these. Dressel. Tim Smith. Warren Moon randomly in 1990 score. I watched some of that break. I don't usually watch breakers, but I will watch Leighton do that, what do you call it, Super Bowl thing they did yesterday. I put that on every year. Somebody pulled a Warren Moon helmet. That's why I brought that up when I happened to catch it. Random 1990 Pro Set. Yeah, I don't get involved with the breaking stuff for, you know, I'll watch once in a while, but I always look at that one since it's a little high money in that one. So I'll take a look at that. Ferragamo, Jack Youngblood. He played a Super Bowl game with a broken leg, right? Jack Youngblood. Super Bowl 14. Mike Lansford, Jeff Kemp. In that 1 year, right, where they got and then lost to the Bears, right, when the Bears went to the Super Bowl. Was it him or was it Dieter Brock was the quarterback then? I can't remember. There's Dickerson, Kurt Warner. And let's see here. Ferragamo again. Henry Ellard. More Henry Ellards. And now we're in the Saints. George Rogers would probably be the bigger star of that era, unless Archie Manning pops up in here. Morton Anderson, of course, is a Hall of Famer, too. Wayne Wilson. I guess Ricky Jackson early in his career. Right? He's in the Hall of Fame. It's not in horrible shape. It's third or fourth year. Growth, George Rogers again. More of these Fleer action cards. Dave Wilson. Hobie Brenner. And then some more Seahawks team cards there. And a couple more Seahawks cards here. Paul Sconzi. Jack Lambert, instant replay. Focus on the card. There you go. Keith Willis. Here we go. Super Bowl 13 there. Bradshaw over the Cowboys. Here is Super Bowl 10. Bradshaw over the Cowboys. Some Oilers stuff here. Packers now. Maybe the Packers from that area. Lofton. I don't remember Jan Stederud as a Packer. There's Lofton. Bucky Scribner. Stederud again. Larry McCarron. Ivory. It is Kaufman Conquers Defense. The 86 team card there. There's a Super Bowl. Tampa Stadium Super Bowl 18. And here's some Super Bowls, right? Super Bowl 1. Super Bowl 1. 2. There's James Lofton. Beat to hell, but James Lofton. And Stanley Morgan got it down the face. Yikes. Cappy, can you sit on this box for a while? I want to get in this one. We've seen a lot of this vintage football. Like I said, this is just junk wax baseball over here, right? And mostly probably junk wax baseball. Yeah, Will Clark on a Kmart card. Sorry, okay, there we go. All right. Will Clark on a Kmart card. Randomly mixed in there. That's how these all were, too. Just going every which direction. El Cid. El Beat Up-O. And, Leifert's. Adley Hammaker. This is the weird thing about as I was going through the junk wax box, too. They randomly seem to sort them kind of by, not just by team, but sort of by player, but not really. I mean, like you saw there was some going every which way. Cappy, can I get in this box, please? Please? I've got cards everywhere here. It's going to be hard to get in here. You let me get in here? I know there's stuff in here I'd like to show. Yeah, there is. Please? He's the boss around here. I mean, he's the one, he makes the rules. It's his shop, right? No? Yeah, getting a lick? Okay, that means no. All right, let's pull this other box back over here then. Let's see what's in this modern box. And maybe I'll save this other box for last. I'll do another video on it here too, because I can't stand here too much longer either. Hey, a spacer. Nice. Some more of these purples. There's Dickerson. Trayvon Diggs. His career went right down the toilet. Ingram is what I was trying to say. Russell Wilson. Buckner. Zach Wilson. Koo. Duvernay. Von Miller. Matt Stafford, our MVP this year. Dalvin Cook. Whatever happened to Dalvin Cook? Let's find something different. Let's see. Who are these rookies here? How about Jameson Williams? And Jake Moody, rookie. Wilson, Joey Porter Jr., Schoonmaker. Michael Wilson had a great year this year. Jaden Reed. That is Gainwell. Davidson. The Zach Wilson card came in every one of those damn Walgreens things. I say damn Walgreens things. I buy them constantly. Corral, Burks, and Thibodeau on the back there. Let's see here. Is Malik Willis going to start somewhere next year? He could be an interesting hold if he does. Let's see. What we got here? Seiya Suzuki. It's a Gunnar Henderson rookie. Pena rookie in the red. Let me get, what is this? Random sorter cards, right? Things to sort with. The guy tried to sell me Pokemon too, and I was like, no, thank you. So maybe he was into that too. Ashby. There is Stevenson. What kind of role will he play today? A-Rod there. Is he going to come back? Hang out with his old coach for a year? There in Pittsburgh, Dabers. How's he going to play next year with his new coach? Let's see. You can tell me more about this basketball again, because, again, I won't know any of these people, probably, at least if it was anything like the first pile we looked at. No, I've heard of James Harden. um, but I've not heard of any of these players otherwise. What's up there, Wyatt? Devin Carter, I've heard of. And good, we're out of basketball. Cap, you don't like basketball either, do you, buddy? Yeah, I know. Meow, meow. That is Jamar Chase, rookie card. And Tyreek Hill. Oops, sorry, Cappy's bumping me. There's Stevenson's rookie card. Gronk. Gronk's up next year for the Hall of Fame. Well, they put Gronk and Witten in the same year. I mean, Witten should have got in this year. So should have Belichick. But, you know, well, they put them both in the same year. I don't think they'll put two tight ends in once. Do you think so? Because I think both are Hall of Famers, obviously. That is Rizzo in the greatest hits card, Duran in the 88 design, more stars of the MLB. Here's a hollow foil of Pepio. More stars. Are you going to let's get in this box, buddy? Okay. How about some of the spring training cards? Suarez, the Birds, Ichiro's Call to the Hall, Freddie Freeman. I've got cards every which way here now, though. All right, so more basketball that I know. No, that's Curry, isn't it? I've heard of him, but Zion. But let's see what's in here. Let's get these out of the way because I think there's more vintage in here. I think. Yes, that corner. Let's look at that, and then we're probably going to wrap it up from there because obviously I'm not going to go through all of these. There's some prestige football here. This is more football. There's some score, some Donruss. Right, here's some more heritage, select football. That is 23 tops. Some more random basketball. I mean, I've got some work to do in front of me sorting these modern cards, right? With some different things. Some Stadium Club, Thurman Munson, Springer. But let's grab this vintage that was right here. Yeah, see, they wrote R on most of them. That one looks like something else happened on that card. We're not going to say what. Frank House. Anybody have any idea what year this is? Bob Kennedy. I'm guessing late 50s. But I am not 100% certain. So happy to say, what's going on there, Adam? Looks like a Facebook Marketplace pickup. Yes, it is a Facebook Marketplace pickup. $40 for these 3 boxes you saw going through here, and then there was one more that I already sorted. It was just junk wax baseball. 58 or 59. Thank you, Tim. Like I said, whoever had it wrote R on a lot of the cards. Woodling. Chuck Deering. See, there's an R. Gus Perandos, 61. This one, right? Yeah. Gene Stevens. A lot of birds there. Harry Lavagetto from the Twins. 59, is that what that is? 59 tops. So this one, I hope that's not mold, but I'm going to wash my hands really good after this. Ward, Rogers, Kemmerler, Westrom, Marshall, Mudcat Grant, Odell, Moran, Windy McCall, Hank Aguirre. What year is that? 57? Why'd you have to write the R? Strickland, 58 tops. Kurt Roberts, Stu Miller, Jim Brosnan, Tommy Carroll, Joe Adcock is a name that I've heard of, at least, and Tim McCarver, of course. Cleaner vintage would look cool in the team packs, although you most likely won't find a 59 Marlin. No. I mean, the oversized ones would be tough, right? Because they're not going to fit in a team bag very well, or they'd stand out and they'd get bent even more. I don't know. I don't know if it's worth throwing them in there as a chase card or not. I mean, they are beat up, but still, that is a Tim McCarver from 68. And then randomly we have Bo Jackson and Barry Bonds from the Ultra Pro sleeve things. And then the other thing that's keep me from doing is all the R's that's written on there, right? You know, Hank Aguirre grandson. Yeah, McCarver was our Mets color guy for years too. He was on Fox for a long time as well. Wasn't he on CBS too before that? I can remember him from like the early '90s World Series. Charlie James. That is 64 tops. Charlie James. Bill Mon Bouquet and Leo Posada. So I mean they're all commons, but at the same time they're vintage commons. It's just they're not in great shape, but it's vintage, right? But ruining it, I mean, they're all written on, or almost all of them are written on, I should say. So that kind of sucks. Ozzy Virgil, any relation to Ozzy Virgil? But I don't know. What I might just do is put them like as a lot on eBay. Oh, I got some here. Did we look at these? Just put up as a lot. Say they're in bad shape. They've got written on them, and just start the bidding at like $5 or something, and let it go. Simmons, Bowman, Jim Woods, Roebuck. Frank Thomas was a decent power hitter back in the day, but yeah, that card again looks. Boy, I hope that's not mold. I mean, nothing else that does. There's nothing on the back that suggests it is. But what's up there, Murphy? Haddix, Harry Haddix, Henry Haddix, Harry or Henry? Harvey. I was close. 12 perfect innings. Yeah, CBS had the MLB for like 2 years in the early '90s, and NBC before Fox. McCarver and Jack Buck. I remember McCarver and Sean McDonough, right, in the '90s World Series, like Joe Carter hitting the home run and all. Because that was Sean McDonough, Dale Long, Jake Teese, Jim Pendleton, Wilmer Mazzelli. Ted Simmons is a Hall of Famer. I mean, I don't know if he should be, but he is. 78 tops. Here is Darryl Spencer, Bill White, and Ernie Broglio. Power for Ernie. Okay. Another Tim McCarver. It's 73 tops. Joe Horner again, and Dusty Rhodes. New York Giants. That says enough about age right there. It's still New York Giants. Right, so it's little bent on that one. But yeah, what's up, Dan? What else we got here? Yeah, is that all the vintage looking stuff? What's this over here? No, it's just Bowman U and Leaf. Quinn Ewers. Travion Henderson. How's he going to factor in today? Ewers again, Henderson again. Hey, it's just like any other Leaf draft product we get. It's the same players over and over again. Let's see. What's this? Basketball stuff. Damon Stoudemire. What year is that from? 96. I might actually have heard some of these players. That's Scottie Pippen. Hardaway. Vlade Divac. Is that Grant Hill? Electrified. Chris Webber. I remember when the Fab Five, right? Hubert Davis. Greg Anthony. Spud Webb. A random, was that 90 NBA hoops? McHale. What are these around here? That's 22 and 23 tops. Let's look at some of this Stadium Club. I don't get a lot of Stadium Club. Correa. Dave Stewart. And remember all of the upper deck cards and that kind of design? Kellenick celebrating. Is he still around? Garrett Cole. Reyes. George Brett. Looking like he's swinging and holding one in. Stevenson. Albies. It's a Scooble. Greg Maddox popping the champagne. Ichiro. Irod. Mitch Haniger. That's Barrios with, who is that? Rod Carew? Listed some of your 93, 94 Fleer basketball this week. Yeah, again, I know nothing about, I mean, 93, 94, you don't even get Jordan in that, right? Because that was when he was out, wasn't it? That's about all I would know. Unless they still put him in the sets. Matt Olson there behind Cal Ripken. Let's see. That's 23. We've seen enough of that. Let's do that. What's over here? What are these football cards? Cappy, you going to come back, buddy? Cappy wants out. He's over by the door. Elite. Caffrey. Pittman. Jordan Love. Olave. Jerry Jeudy. Adams. Brock Purdy. Murray. Tony Pollard. That is from 2 years ago. 23 Elite. Let's see what we got here. How about some prestige we've seen? What's this? This is different year prestige. These are all packed fresh. At least they're the new ones. Those older football cards from the 80s. Did you find more lines? Any Doug English? I'll have to go back and look. Not a name that rung a bell, but then again, I went through the names I didn't recognize pretty fast. So, Doug English. This looks like a die cut card. What's here? That is a Alvin Kamara die cut with DJ Chark die cut and Derek Carr die cut behind him. And then some mosaic base. Yeah, I guess I got a chore in front of me here today. Something I can do, or once the family gets back, we'll probably do some other stuff too. And like I said, I got to cook and everything for the game tonight. But sorting these between football, baseball, and basketball will definitely take some time because they are just kind of randomly in here. Let's see what this is. Score from 23. Right, 20, yeah. There is Deuce Vaughn. About Brees. Deshaun Watson. Is he going to start next year for the Browns? Or are they going to let one of the kids start? Like their Pro Bowler. Scottie Pippen, Shaq's. Shaq. I forgot about Shaq and all. Were you friends with gals Julie and Sally? Man, Julie and Sally at UD. Julie and Sally. So I knew a Julie. I do not remember a Sally. But I definitely knew a Julie, if you know what I mean. What's up, Sporty? Fields, Lattimore, Campbell. Yeah, I mean, it's unless I would know them for that reason, right? It's going to be hard for me to remember a lot of my time at Delaware for just random girls and stuff like that. Because when we had the parties and stuff going, man, I mean, they were just coming through and stuff. Hey, thanks for stopping in. Thanks for subbing. Hey, we are moving towards 2,000. We are creeping our way there. And when we do that, I'm going to give some cards away. Maybe I'll give some of this vintage away. I'll probably still have it by then. I don't know. Going through and doing that. Yeah, but I was telling my students last week the 9/11 story and all that, which I don't want to kill the buzz here, right? We know a Sally. We don't tell our wives. I honestly don't know a Sally. I do not remember a Sally. I do remember a Julie. Hey, I didn't meet my wife till I was 33, right? So it's okay. She had a life before I she came with me too. So, Kenny Pickett's rookie there. Good times back at Delaware. Kyron Williams. I'll have to ask my friends. When I get on the text message later today, I'll ask if they remember a girl named Sally. You know what dorm they would have been in? Probably wouldn't have mattered. I wouldn't have known by then. Random score from 3 years ago, right? Yeah. Mac Jones. So we're kind of running out of differences in here, right? Different things. That's just more of the score. What's over here? Here's some more for you basketball fans. You can tell me if these are anybody. Joe Flacco, New Julian Sally. Joe Flacco was, let's see, I graduated in 2000 and 2003. There's Doncic isn't the name I heard of, right? 2003 was my master's. So Flacco's team was 08, right? That got to the championship game. That was his only year there. That's the one thing to remember. He gets a lot of pub and all that for being, from Delaware, but he transferred in from Pitt. So, yeah, Bo Nix jersey patch out of Contenders. That's a nice one. I had a numbered Bo Nix I pulled out of Contenders or Score. I can't remember which one. But is this stuff you put in boxes a while back? No, this is stuff I got off of Facebook Marketplace. $40 I paid for these 3 boxes, and then there was one more that I already sorted. But no, it just I like to find random bulk like this to mix into my Etsy packs and stuff. So when I see a decent deal like that, I go out and grab it, and it just happened to have all this vintage and stuff in it. Hey, here's some heritage. Let's look at that. Heard Joe was mostly chill at UD, not a hound. Yeah, see, Matt Nagy was my neighbor. Right, he lived 3 doors down when I was there. And he was the quarterback, and he knew it. Let's see. Iglesias, Suzuki, Torkelson. And then when I was at NC State getting my PhD, right, and as we look at Pete Alonso, I'm just setting aside here. Pretty sure I have that, but still. So I lived in an apartment here on the 3rd floor from this card. And then there was another building right here. That was Phillip Rivers. Because remember, Phillip Rivers was married with a kid at the time already, even though that was his senior year at NC State. It was my first year as a PhD student. Bradshaw gave Knicks the nod a couple years back. Rizzo. Some more all-star cards there. Santander. Let's see. It's more of that, that's just 23. What's this? What is that? That is a Topps card I am not familiar with. 23 Topps. It's thick. Anybody know what that is? It doesn't say on the back like what set it's from or anything. Anybody familiar with that design? It's up again there, Sporty. Robert Ramirez. This is that capstone. Alvarez, Hosmer, Manoa, Rondon, Burns, Urias, Romano, and Moncada. Sure, check those codes in Heritage. Yeah, all those sneaky. Yeah, you're right. Just the random or the numbers on the right side and all that stuff that they do in Heritage. Any high numbers, things like that. I don't know what that Dansby Swanson card is, though. I do not recognize this at all. I'm going to set that aside just so I can look it up. Nobody knows. What else is right here, then? Oh, this is more 23. This is, what, Prism or Donruss or Optic or something. Select. There's some greens. Tucker, Castellanos, Bogarts, Glasnow. Why are there no Mets? Alvarez, Walsh. So, yeah. Just a bunch of random Optic from, 3 years ago? 4 years ago now? Anything else worth grabbing here? That's Score, Prestige. Some more random basketball stuff here of Immaculate. Or Illusions, I'm sorry, not Immaculate. See, I was watching this stuff yesterday. Chris Paul is a name I heard of. The old donkey punch there, Chris Paul. And all. And oops, there's my cue. So you might hear my garage door going up because that's where my little card room is right above my garage door. That's my cue to exit. Waiting for the family to get home here as we were killing time. So, hey, hope you had fun. We were here for a little over an hour, just playing around. If you're new to the channel, definitely like, subscribe. Cappy and I play with this stuff all the time. I'll try to go live more often, right? Hopefully the right direction next time. But, we'll be playing with stuff and looking at things. I've got my PC that I wanted to, play with on live stream here at some point too. So, I've got some cards and I'm adding to it now, right? So, or seeing at least if I have it. So, we'll see what I got from there and we'll have some more fun. So thanks again. Enjoy the Super Bowl. Hopefully if you're a fan of the teams, your team wins. If not, you have some fun and watch the game and make some money or do whatever else along the way. So, check us out. Thanks again. We'll see you next time. Right, buddy? Let's go say goodbye to the boy. Right, boy? Yeah. Bye-bye. Meow, meow.